The NFL is filled with young gifted quarterbacks, and every season there is an emergence of a new star, and this year is no different. The Denver Broncos 2019 second-round pick Drew Lock took over late last season for an awful team, but led the team to a 4-1 record under his leadership. He showed great arm strength, escapability, and ability to lead an NFL franchise. After an impressive brief rookie showing, Lock is poised for a breakout season in 2020. Along with key acquisitions the Broncos have made this offseason, 2020 is Lock's year to shine. Lock has improved greatly over the course of his career, which takes us back 23 years to the beginning of the journey of Drew Lock.
Looking for the screen, fires, touchdown!
Drew Lock was born on November 10th, 1996 in Columbia, Missouri. Lock attended Lee's Summit High School, where he passed for 3,060 yards and 35 touchdowns as a junior. In his final high school season, he was named the Kansas City Stars All-Metro Player of the Year after an impressive campaign, throwing for 2,731 yards and 28 touchdowns. Rivals rated Lock as a 4-star recruit and the 6th best pro-style quarterback in the 2015 class. Lock was also a stud on the basketball court, considered a 2-star shooting guard before opting to attend the University of Missouri to play college football. Lock started his freshman season as the backup quarterback, but took over behind center in the Tigers' last 8 games. Lock turned some heads in his first start, a 24-10 victory over South Carolina, passing for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. His best performance of the season came on the big stage in a bout against BYU at Arrowhead Stadium. He set a career high with 244 yards and threw for a touchdown in the win. His freshman season was ultimately a learning experience. Lock finished with 1,332 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He made huge strides in his second year in Columbia, a trend that would continue over the course of his collegiate career. He led the SEC with 3,399 yards and added 23 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. In a bout against Eastern Michigan, Lock went for a career-high 450 yards and tied a school record with 5 touchdowns. After a breakout sophomore campaign, the best was still yet to come for Lock. The Tigers struggled early in the season, starting 1-5, including losses to ranked Georgia and Auburn. Lock helped Missouri rattle off 6 straight wins, leading the NCAA with 3,964 yards and 44 touchdowns, setting an SEC record for the latter along the way. He had only 13 interceptions. He was a first-team All-SEC selection and was viewed as one of the premier college football quarterbacks. Despite that, he opted to return to Missouri for his senior year. Lock saw a 5.1% increase in completion percentage as a senior. He threw for 3,498 yards and had 28 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. He was named to second-team All-SEC. Drew Lock closely compared to Pro Bowl quarterback Matthew Stafford during his tenure at Missouri. Lock has a cannon of an arm and makes effortless throws, often extremely accurate. He looks like your typical franchise quarterback at 6'4" and showed glimpses of ability in an impressive Senior Bowl performance. At the 2019 NFL Draft, Drew Lock watched on as Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, and Dwayne Haskins all went in the first round. He had to wait another day, but heard his name called when the Denver Broncos selected him with the 42nd selection. His career in Denver started off rocky. He suffered a thumb injury in the preseason and landed on injured reserve. He spent plenty of time hurt, waiting for his time to come. On November 30th, he was activated off injured reserve and named the Broncos starting quarterback, and the Drew Lock era in Denver began.
Down, Lock looking end zone for Sutton, and the diving attempt, did he get it?
Lock passed for 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception in his NFL debut, but his stats don't give him justice. In a tight game against the Chargers, Lock passed for the Broncos' only touchdowns and helped set up a 53-yard Brandon McManus field goal as time expired to win the game. The following week was supposed to be a huge challenge for Lock and the Broncos, facing the Texans as a 9-point underdog. In a shocking development, Lock passed for 3 touchdowns in the first half and added another late to put Denver up 38-3 in an eventual victory. He finished with 309 yards and threw a single interception. The Broncos struggled the following week against the future Super Bowl winning Chiefs, losing 23-3 in a beatdown on the road. This was the first real time that Locke faced adversity in the pros. After impressive showings in his first 2 games, how would Locke rebound following a loss to Kansas City? In the Broncos' final 2 regular season contests, Locke threw for a single touchdown in each game and didn't throw an interception. In Week 19 against the Lions, Locke helped the Broncos come back in the 4th quarter and led a game-winning drive to win the game. Then in the regular season finale, Locke and the Broncos edged out the Raiders 16-15. Denver was 3-8 before Locke took over. Instead of bottoming out, Locke and the Broncos went 4-1 with him at the helm as he passed for 1,020 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. After an impressive end to his rookie season, Locke prepares for 2020, and the Broncos are doing everything in their power to help him succeed. Unlike other teams that have failed to surround their young quarterbacks with receiving talent, John Elway has gone all out in surrounding Locke with top-end talent. 2018 second-round pick Cortland Sutton broke out last season as the Broncos' top receiving target, recording over 1,000 yards. Additionally, 2019 first-round pick Noah Fant put together a successful rookie season with over 500 yards and is expected to make a huge jump this season. With the emerging targets, Denver went out this offseason and helped bolster their offense by taking Alabama's Jerry Jeudy, arguably the most talented wide receiver in the draft, in the 1st round. They also added dynamic speed threat KJ Hamler from Penn State in the 2nd round. It didn't stop there though. Denver already had 2018 breakout star Phillip Lindsay on the roster, but decided to go out and bring in another talented running back in Melvin Gordon. Of course, with playmakers, one must have an offensive line. The Broncos had an offensive line ranked just outside the top 10 last year, allowing Locke to learn behind a line better than the quarterbacks taken ahead of him. The loss of Connor McGovern at center is likely to hurt Denver this season, but they addressed their need by taking Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU in the 3rd round. More importantly, Denver signed former Lions guard Graham Glasgow, who can play both center and guard. Notable positive changes haven't only occurred on the roster. Locke played under offensive coordinator Rich Scangarello in his first and ultimately last season as an NFL OC. After letting go of Scangarello, the Broncos hired the quarterback whisperer Pat Shurmur, a major upgrade. He has been the head coach of the Browns, Eagles, and most recently Giants. This is a perfect fit for Locke. There aren't many offensive coordinators who love going deep as much as Shurmur, and luckily for him, that is by far Locke's best skill. Due to COVID-19, the Broncos have been installing their new offense virtually, something that would often cause worry. Locke seems to have benefited this offseason. In an interview, Locke stated that, "I think this being my 2nd year is benefiting me in a lot of ways I didn't necessarily expect, as far as learning a new offense," adding, "Picking this offense up has happened a little faster. I'd say 10 times as quick as I did the first time." Locke possesses the talent to become a top NFL quarterback, but there is one skill in particular that pushes him over the edge. Locke showed an increased comfort over his time as a rookie and looked like a whole new quarterback in Week 17 opposed to the preseason. As his comfort continued, another part of his game improved, his ability to extend plays with his legs. While not the most mobile quarterback in the league, Locke has shown the ability to continue a play despite it breaking down. He isn't Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson, but when needed, like most top pro quarterbacks nowadays, Locke can extend plays. The Broncos as a whole have a chance to make a playoff run this season, though it will most likely have to occur with a wildcard entrance with the Chiefs as division mates. It's not only on the offensive side of the ball where Denver will prosper though. Defensive-minded head coach Vic Fangio is a wizard going into his 2nd season, and Elway and company have put in loads of draft stock into defense over the years. With Von Miller and Bradley Chubb leading an elite pass rush, opposing quarterbacks are poised to be disrupted. Not to mention the addition of Jarrell Casey and AJ Boye to a secondary that already had Justin Simmons. Elway has helped put the pieces together for a successful future in Denver, and under the leadership of Fangio and Shurmur on the staff and Locke and Miller on the field, the future is bright. Drew Lock is lucky to be surrounded by talent and a coaching staff that is all in on him, and he has the skills necessary to succeed. Drew Lock is a star in the making.